No opening statement. Tell us about South Carolina weekend. What do you think of it?
I thought we played well. Disappointing to not get out of there, with 2 wins. I think, certainly you look at game 2, but, we had opportunities in game 3 as well. But proud of the way we played. We played hard. We played well. Just came up short, in a couple opportunities to score or to hold them, and you can't do that in our league and win. Especially when you're playing on the road against a great opponent. So tough weekend for us.
Moving Austin to the leadoff spot, what kind of went into that, or was that something you've been thinking about?
And I guess in the back of my mind, do you move him up, or do you usually your most productive hitter isn't batting second,
Right.
And we put him in a 3-hole, one game, and moved Anderson up. And Anderson got a few hits, and so we told him that there's no 3-hole, there's 2A and 2B, and joking with them. But the truth is, Braxton was struggling a little bit. Had about 3 or 4 games where you could see he was starting to press, wasn't getting good swings off, and if you move Boz to the leadoff spot, to have to pitch to him, and I think it frees up Braxton to do some more things, and he can bunt, he can hit and run, while he's waiting to get hot again. And I thought he had a terrific weekend. People talk about Boz, but I thought he looked much better at the plate, so it seemed to help us.
How good has it been just to see Boz get back to being the way he was as a freshman?
Well, I don't know if he was this good as a freshman.
Well,
but
I mean, this was kind of where we kind of expected him to be.
No doubt, and I understand that. He's just playing with a lot of confidence, getting a lot of good swings off, and he's always played the defense and still does. But offensively, he's that star type of player that's a great mix of speed and power. He can hit for average. He can lay a bunt down. He can do a lot of different things. He's very selfless in that regard. That anytime you give him an opportunity to bunt with runners on, he always seems to get it down. He always seems to help you, and certainly the stolen base has been a big factor for us. And he's been the main guy in doing that. Him and Braxton at the top of the lineup.
Mike, Brantley Bell his opportunities seem to come a little bit later this season than some other newcomers. What changed for him, or how did your evaluation of him change?
Well, we've had so many players, and it's hard to get them all in. And so, as a coach, you make some decisions early in the year that, we're going to try these. You can't try everybody. It's not intramurals, and so we went with a couple guys early on. And Braxton, every time he got the opportunity, we knew he was very talented, but every time he got the opportunity, he made the most of it. Got a lot of great at bats. Maybe even if he didn't get a hit, in a pinch hit at bat, I mean, looked good, and quality at bats is the term we use, quabs. And then he gets a start, gets a couple hits, and that's what it takes. And you're proud of guys like that, guys that we just used the word selfless, but guys that are selfless, guys that will come off the bench and make the most of their opportunities. And when you do that, you get more opportunities.
How do you think he will respond to pitching staffs responding to him?
Say that again.
How do you think he will respond to being scouted more? Teams pitching him differently?
I don't think that's a factor, really. I mean, I don't think he got the hits because people didn't know who he was, and so they pitched him wrong, if that's what you're kind of implying. I think he just, he's a good hitter, and he's got some good swings off, and has had some good results.
Outside the 3 wins last week on the road, did you see this team gain some stuff being away, and something that you maybe weren't expecting that you saw them develop?
I don't know if not expecting, but we always talk about the road. We always talk about that you got to win on the road, and the great teams do win on the road. And to have success in our league, you have to win on the road. And we talked about that a lot the first weekend going down to Stetson. And to me, that kind of prepared us, I think, for this week. But it was a long week, and even though we were not in class in spring break, you hope that it's easier. It's really it was one of the hardest weeks because we drove down 5 hours and then played a baseball game. We didn't drive down the night before. We drove down on Tuesday, drove down 5 hours, played a game, woke up the next day, played an earlier game to get back at 1 in the morning. Woke up the next morning, lifted weights, and then took off to South Carolina. So physically, I thought it was kind of grueling on the guys, but I thought they responded well, and it wasn't a surprise for me. They've been tough. We've talked about that all year.
They only enhanced it then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was different than what we thought. thought. And I would have, like I just said, I was proud of the way we played, because we played well at South Carolina. Not proud of the results, but proud of the way we played. But I don't think that was a surprise to any of us that we would go there